Hello, welcome to the first installment of Yoga for Swimmers. Today we're going to work on shoulders and a little bit of quads. And I just want you to hold each pose, or we'll hold each pose for about 2 minutes. So we're going to start off in child's pose. Place your hands about mat's width, the distance of the mat. Take your knees out the distance of the mat. Your big toes touch, and then send your hips towards your heels. And let your forearms and either chin or forehead move towards the mat. And then allow yourself to focus on your breath. So I want you to see if you can count how long it takes you to inhale. And count how long it takes you to exhale. And I want you to see if you can balance the length of your inhale with the length of your exhale. And maybe as you do this, you'll feel your body move a little bit closer to the mat. And recognize where within your body you feel the tension here. Maybe it's through your shoulders, your hips. But wherever it is, take deep breaths into that space. And 2 more full, deep breaths, letting your fingers and your hands soften. And then spreading your fingers nice and wide. On an inhale, press into your palms and shift yourself forward to all fours. And adjust your hips and knees in line, shoulders and hands in line. And for one inhale, begin to drop your low belly, lift your chest, lift the crown of your head. And then for one exhale, tuck your tailbone round through your spine, move your chin towards your chest. And then inhale, bring your spine back towards neutral. Shift your left knee back slightly. And then place your right foot in between your hands. If you need to inch it forward, do so. So that your right knee is over top of your right ankle. Maybe you're on your palms, maybe you can come up to your fingertips here. If you need pillows, you can place them underneath your hands. And I want you to ensure that your hips are forward of your back knee. They don't need to be as forward as mine are. But if your hips are over top of your back knee, send your hips forward, however slightly. I want you to feel a stretch the front of your left hip flexor. And then as you do this, let your chin move towards your chest and come back to that focus on your breath. And try to allow your body and your mind to quiet and still. Recognizing here as you inhale if you're creating any tension through your right foot, your right toes. And as you exhale, let go of that tension. Always ensuring that right knee is over top of your right ankle here. And as you allow deep, full breaths, soften something in the shoulders. Almost feel as though each breath brings a little bit more space to your left hip. Inhale deeply. And exhale completely, 2 more full breaths. And then if you've tucked your chin, inhale, grow long through the crown of your head. Start to send your hips back until you can plant your palms. And then bring your right knee back to meet your left. Shift your knees underneath your hips, hands under your shoulders. And again, inhale, start to arch through the back as you lift your chest, lift the crown of your head. Exhale, tuck your tailbone as you round through your spine, moving your chin towards your chest. And then inhale, return your spine to neutral. Shift your right knee back slightly. And then step or inch your left foot forward between your hands until you can bring your left knee over your left ankle. And again, making sure hips are not over top of the back knee. They're forward, however, slightly. If you need to, you can bring pillows or blocks underneath your hands. Maybe you're on your fingertips, or maybe you've shifted towards your palms. But I want you to make sure that wherever you are, you're not trying too hard to get there. And then see if you can begin to move your chin towards your chest and start to soften areas of your body. Maybe the only place that you feel intensity of the stretch is through your right hip. And so then I want you to send your breath in and out of that area. And create as much space as you can with each inhale, each exhale. Maintaining this balance of the count of your inhale with the count of your exhale. Could you soften your shoulders? Are you using any muscles through your inner thighs that you can release? Maybe here, if you really allow yourself to connect to your breath, you could allow your eyes to close. Last 3 full breaths here. Chin towards your chest, shoulders are soft, your left toes are relaxed. However, left knee stays over top of your left ankle the entire time. If you're on blocks or your fingertips, on your inhale, begin to lengthen the crown of your head and send your hips back until you can plant your palms. And then slide your left knee back to meet your right. And shift your knees forward underneath your hips. Hands under your shoulders. Last time. Inhale, arch through your back as you lift through the crown of your head. And exhale, tuck your tailbone as you round through your spine. Move your chin towards your chest. Inhale, return your spine towards neutral. And then start to shift your knees back as you lower yourself onto your stomach. Now from here, keep your right hand under your right shoulder and place your left forearm so that it is parallel to the top of your mat. If you need to adjust your hands, you can. And then very gently start to press into your forearm and your palm until you can lift your chest. And then peek down, see that left shoulder is over your left elbow, and if that's enough, stay there. Or begin to bend your right knee. If this is enough for your body, pause as you are. Or only if you have the space, you can place your right hand to the inside of your right ankle. And be mindful here, if this is a lot of opening through the right side of your chest, you can bend the elbow, you can let the fingertips just tent to the side. Or if it would feel good, begin to draw your right heel towards your right hip. Keep pressure in your left forearm and maybe gaze towards your right toes. But I want you to make sure that you're choosing a place that works for your body. If it feels that you are trying too hard in any aspect of this pose, then it does not serve you. Just 3 more deep, full breaths on this side. Again, any variation that feels good for you. Maybe you're feeling the stretch through the right hip, keeping that hip connected with the mat. Or maybe all the opening is through your right shoulder. If you have a hold of your foot, softly release your right hand. If you've peeked over your right shoulder, return your head to neutral. If you've bent the right knee, release your right foot towards the mat. Square off through the shoulders and place left hand underneath your left shoulder. And then just very gently here, take your shoulder blades onto your back and inhale, just softly lift your chest. And then exhale to release. Place your right forearm underneath your chest, parallel to the top of your mat. And check that your right elbow is underneath your right shoulder. If it isn't, adjust until it is. Place left hand underneath your left shoulder and begin to press into your palm and your forearm to lift your chest. You can stay here. We're keeping your left hip connected. Bend your left knee. You can stay here. If you feel anything in your low back, please release your foot back down. Or if it feels okay, left hand towards the inside of your left ankle. And only if it feels good, bending the heel in towards the hip. But being mindful of your left shoulder and choosing a variation that feels good for you. Maybe that foot is just barely lifting and you're working with that. That's entirely okay. Keep pressure in either just the forearm or the palm and the forearm, lifting the chest. 2 more full breaths. Soften through the tops of the shoulders wherever you are. And then if you have a hold of your foot, release your left hand under your left shoulder. Return your shoulders towards neutral. Release your left foot. Right hand underneath your right shoulder. And just once, shoulder blades onto your back as you inhale. Lift your chest, lift the crown of your head. And then exhale to release. Press your hips towards your heels. And then slowly round up through your spine, stacking your vertebrae. And allow the crown of your head to arrive very last. And that is the end of this segment today. If you want to, you can take a few moments to just lay on your back and really connect a little bit more to the breath that we developed. Thank you so much.